We might like heaps of things that come in pairs, like a pair of socks, a pair of shoes, a pair of sunglasses, and so many other things. But no one likes a pair of confusing words. These words look and sound very similar, but have different meanings. So in today's lesson, I've picked 6 pairs of words that even native speakers sometimes confuse. To help you figure out the difference between these words and learn how to use them in your conversation or writing, I've put these words in different sentences to give you some examples and help you stick these words to your memory. So let's have a look at the first pair together. The first word is compliment, and the second word is compliment. Yes, they sound exactly the same. But can you notice that there's a tiny difference in the spelling? The first one has an I in the middle, and it means to praise someone or say nice words to them. When you compliment someone or give someone a compliment, you might say, "You look so pretty today," or "I love your hair," while the second compliment with an E means something that can complete another thing. Let's have a look at some examples because it doesn't make sense. So the complement with an I can be used as a verb and also a noun. For example, you can compliment other people, or you can give and receive compliments. Everyone gave me a lot of compliments about my dress.
Alice felt a lot better when Jason complimented her.
Let's have a look and see how we use the second complement in sentences. Julia and Mike are the perfect couple because they complement each other. This is almost like opposites attract. This wine is the perfect complement to the steak. So that means they go well together. They make each other complete. Are you ready for round 2? So, the next 2 words are actually a little bit tricky because to many people, they sound quite the same. But they're actually pronounced a little bit differently. The first word is pronounced affect, but the second one is affect. I know that you probably think, what? They sound absolutely the same. But notice that the noun affect, the one that starts with E, has an sound at the start, while the verb starting with A has an sound, and I would have to open my mouth a little bit more. Affect, affect. Let's not worry about the pronunciation for a while and focus on the meaning. The noun affect means change, impact, and sometimes when we talk about films, it means the light and the sound that's used in a movie. But how do we use it in a sentence? I think teachers are responsible to warn students about the negative effects of sugar on the body.
Nationwide lockdown comes into effect on Saturday. So the phrase comes into effect means it's going to start or be applied from Saturday.
The visual and sound effects used in the film Rabbit Proof Fence create an atmosphere and evoke an emotional response. The second word in this pair is pronounced affect. Affect. The only difference in meaning is that affect is a verb, but effect is a noun. Let's have a look at some examples.
This pandemic has nearly affected every aspect of our lives. The news about Shark Attack affected him badly. Now, you might find the next pair of words much easier than the previous ones because these 2 words sound completely different and they also have different spellings. So the first word is lose, and the next one is loose. Now let's have a look at what these two words mean. The word lose has multiple meanings like many other words in English. If you lose a game or a race, that means you don't win. But if you lose your keys, that means you can't find them. However, the word loose means that something is not tied or it's not tightly attached. Let's have a look at some examples together. Losing the competition deeply affected her self-esteem. She's locked out of the house because she has lost her keys. Peter lost his father at a young age, which had a devastating effect on his life. Now we're going to have a look at some example sentences with the word lose. She's lost 15 kilos, so all her pants are loose for her. My child has a loose tooth that won't fall out. Let's move on to the next pair of words, accept and accept. Now the good news is, as you can tell, these two words sound exactly the same, just like the first pair. Remember, complement and complement? But similar to those, these are also spelled differently and obviously have different meanings. So the one starting with AC, accept, means to agree or to receive an offer, while the other accept, which starts with EX, means not including or excluding. Let's have a look at how this accept is used in a sentence. I was thrilled when he accepted my invitation. I can't accept the fact that he didn't have time to complete his project. You might also not accept someone's apology because you might think it's not sincere or not from the bottom of their heart. But how do we use the other accept in a sentence? For example, Carl worked every day except Saturdays. So that means he did not work on Saturdays. All the students except Angela went to the library after school. So Angela didn't go to the library, but the other students did. Let's have a look at the fifth pair of words, desert with one S and dessert with double S. As you can see in here, these two words sound very different. So desert is a dry area which receives very little rain or no rain at all, but dessert is something sweet that you might eat after a meal. Let's start with the first word in the pair, desert. Another meaning of desert is to leave or abandon someone or a place. For example, the village has been deserted since the massive earthquake hit. So no one lives in the desert anymore. It's empty. People left that place. In the next sentence, you can see how the noun desert is being used in a sentence. Because of its harsh conditions, only 3% of Australia's population lives in the desert. Let's read out some sentences with the word dessert. For dessert, I usually have a piece of Lamington, which is a famous Australian cake. Have you ever heard of Lamington? Have you tried it before? A chocolate dessert is always a crowd pleaser. That means everyone loves a chocolate dessert. And finally, our last pair of words is breathe and breath. Now, as you can see, these words have pretty much the same meanings. The only difference is that breathe is a verb and it has an E at the end, but breath is a noun and has no E. I'm breathing deeply, but I take a deep breath. Now let's see how we use the word breathe in a sentence. My chest felt so tight and I could barely breathe.
But how do we use breath in a sentence? Let's have a look at some more examples.
I took a deep breath as I walked on the stage. You can brush and floss daily to easily control your bad breath.
Alright guys, that is the end of our lesson. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing and don't forget to like this video. Also, I would like you to make some more sentences with the words you learnt today in the comment section below so that I can give you some feedback and help you improve your English. I'll see you in the next video.